Mark Gurman just dropped four words that should make every iPhone user stop scrolling. Biggest camera upgrades ever. That's not me hyping it up. That's Bloomberg about the iPhone 18 Pro dropping this fall. And look, Apple says something is the best ever literally every September. So I get it if you're already tuning out. But here's what's different this time. The rumors aren't coming from some random Weibo account posting blurry KID drawings at 2 a.m. They're stacking up from multiple supply chain sources, reputable leakers, and Mark Gurman in the same week. That alignment doesn't happen unless something real is coming. So I went through every leak, every supply chain report, every prototype image, and pulled out the things that actually matter, not the stuff that fills out rumor roundup articles. The stuff that will change how you actually use this phone. Bloomberg's Gurman says the iPhone 18 Pro will include some of the biggest camera hardware upgrades in the lineup's history, and there's one specific feature buried in the leaks that nobody in the mainstream coverage is fully explaining. We'll get there. The iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max are coming September 2026. A 6.3-inch and a 6.9-inch model. Standard iPhone 18 that's being pushed to spring 2027. So if you're upgrading this fall, these Pro models are your only options, which makes what's inside them matter a lot more. Here's how I'm going to break this down. Design first, because there actually are changes, then the camera, which is the real story, then the chip, then battery, and I'll end with the thing Apple is quietly doing that I genuinely think is underrated. One more thing before we get into it. Gurman didn't share specific camera details in his latest report, which suggests there are surprises we haven't fully heard about yet, so some of what's coming might be bigger than even these leaks suggest. Okay, let's go. Dummy units confirm the iPhone 18 Pro will look largely the same as its predecessor, other than one very visible change, a noticeably smaller dynamic island. The iPhone 17 Pro was the first major iPhone redesign in years, so this isn't surprising, but here's what I knew about the front. Face ID's flood illuminator is being moved under the screen on the iPhone 18 Pro models, which is what makes that smaller dynamic island possible. It's not full under display Face ID. A prominent leaker clarified that only the infrared sensor moves under the display, but it is a step toward a genuinely clean, uninterrupted screen. And visually, the difference looks significant in the prototype images. On the back, Apple appears to be dropping the two-tone look of the iPhone 17 Pro's rear casing in favor of a more seamless aesthetic by minimizing the color difference between the ceramic shield glass and the aluminum frame. Colors. The special color for the iPhone 18 Pro will reportedly be dark cherry alongside light blue, dark gray, and silver. Cosmic orange and deep blue are expected to be discontinued. Dark cherry is reportedly more of a dark red with a hint of purple in it, which honestly sounds stunning, and no black. Again, according to Leaker Instant Digital, the premium iPhones still won't come in black in 2026, which would be the second consecutive year Apple has ditched what was arguably its most classic color option. Apple, please, I'm begging. Okay, the camera. This is why we're here. Apple is evaluating 4 camera upgrades for future iPhone models, with the first new features scheduled for this year's iPhone 18 Pro models. The one landing this year, variable aperture. Let me explain what that actually means, because most coverage just says variable aperture and moves on, like everyone knows what that is. Variable aperture allows the lens to dynamically adjust light intake, opening wider in low light conditions for brighter images, or narrowing in bright scenes to reduce overexposure and improve depth of field. This feature has long been common in dedicated cameras, and it would represent a major leap for iPhone photography, giving users more creative control without relying solely on computational processing. Right now, your iPhone has a fixed aperture. The lens opening is locked. So when Apple says night mode or photonic engine, those are software tricks to compensate for hardware limitations. Variable aperture means you're changing the actual physics of how light hits the sensor. That's a fundamentally different thing. Rumors point to the main 48 megapixel sensor getting a variable aperture ranging from f1.4 to f2.0, allowing greater control over depth of field and low light performance. For context, f1.4 is wide open, maximum light, shallow depth of field, that dreamy blurred background look. f2.0 is tighter, sharper, edge to edge, better for landscapes or bright conditions, having both mechanically on your phone. That's genuinely something dedicated cameras have had over smartphones until now, and that's just one of the 4 upgrades Apple has planned. Beyond variable aperture, there are 3 more camera improvements in the works, though they're not expected to launch this year. Supply chain reports also indicate Apple is switching to a Samsung-produced sensor for the ultra-wide camera across the entire iPhone 18 lineup, replacing its long-standing reliance on Sony. That's a significant supply chain move, and it suggests the ultra wide is getting a meaningful hardware bump too, not just a software polish. Oh, and Apple is also testing a large aperture telephoto lens alongside the variable aperture main camera. Currently, the iPhone 17 Pro's telephoto is f2.8. A wider aperture telephoto would mean significantly better low light zoom shots. Low light zoom is one of the weakest points on every current iPhone. If they fix that, the camera story here is legitimately huge. Apple's first 2 nanometer chip is coming with the iPhone 18 Pro models. The current A19 is built on a 3 nanometer process. 2 nanometers is a long-awaited step down in node size. What does that mean practically? More performance, better efficiency, and less heat. The jump from 3 nanometers to 2 nanometer is roughly comparable to the jump that made the A17 Pro so noticeably faster than what came before it. The gains in AI processing especially should be significant, and given that Apple is leaning hard into Apple Intelligence features, the A20 Pro will be doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Bloomberg also reports that the camera app in iOS 27 is getting a new Siri mode with visual intelligence features, and the timing is deliberate. These software AI features are designed to work with the new camera hardware. The variable aperture doesn't just give you better photos manually, it gives Apple's AI better raw data to work with, better inputs, better outputs. That combination, new physics in the camera, new AI processing the results, new chip running it all, is actually a bigger story than any single spec. Quick but important on battery and connectivity. The Pro Max is expected to get a significantly larger battery, somewhere between 5,100 and 5,200 milliampere hours, that could push video playback toward 40 hours in some scenarios. The displays will use LTPO plus technology, which should also contribute to longer battery life by adjusting the refresh rate more intelligently than the current LTPO panels. On connectivity, Apple's new C2 modem could support M-Wave 5G and add support for 5G satellite connectivity, potentially allowing full internet access over satellite when standard networks aren't available. And as of April 2026, Apple is reportedly teaming up with Amazon, which acquired Globalstar, meaning iPhones will fall under Amazon's LEO satellite internet network. That's not a small thing. Satellite internet on your phone backed by Amazon's infrastructure. We're getting close to you have signal everywhere on Earth territory. Okay, I have to be honest with you about one thing. The iPhone 17 Pro currently starts at $1,099 for 256 gigabytes. Analysts are warning of a possible price hike for this year's models due to RAM price increases worldwide, plus the possibility of Apple's new chipset costing more to produce, so the upgrade cost might go up. And all iPhone 18 models are expected to come with 12 gigabytes of RAM. More RAM is great. But if that RAM is part of why the price goes up, it's a trade-off you'll want to think about. Some sources suggest the price increase could apply only to higher storage configurations, allowing Apple to keep the entry price the same as last year. So the base model might hold at $1,099, but if you're going 512 gigabytes or 1 terabyte, budget accordingly. So, worth upgrading to? If you're on an iPhone 16 Pro or older, yes, not even a question. The variable aperture camera alone is a generational leap for photography. The 2-nanometer chip, the improved battery, the smaller dynamic island. This is a meaningful upgrade on every front that matters. If you're on an iPhone 17 Pro, this is going to be a harder sell. The design is nearly identical. The chip will be faster, but the 17 Pro's A19 isn't slow. The camera is where it gets interesting. If variable aperture is as good as the leaks suggest, that might be enough for camera-obsessed users. But if you're a normal person who just wants a great phone, your 17 Pro is fine. Here's the thing that I keep coming back to, though. Gurman says these are some of the biggest camera hardware upgrades in iPhone history. And that was almost a throwaway line at the end of a report about software. That kind of casual, confident understatement from someone with Gurman's track record, that means there's more we don't know yet. And that's actually the most exciting part of where we are right now. I'll update this the moment new details drop. But I'm curious, is the variable aperture camera enough to get you to upgrade, or are you waiting to see the full iPhone Fold reveal before deciding what to buy this fall? Let me know, because I genuinely don't know what I'm doing yet either. See you next video. Peace out.